Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show, live from the Atzenhofer studio, as we are every single weekday morning, 7 to 8.
Stretch.
On Magic, on the Noble Network, on Facebook, on YouTube. Want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Ricky King, Cody Bowen, Greg Garcia on the podium. Hope everybody had a wonderful, safe Independence Day weekend and had a good time, but back to reality today.
There you go. The Wade and Carter weather. You might check that. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. 76 degrees under mostly sunny skies today with a high of 94. I put down the 21-7-14 blend on Saturday morning, mow the yard, put down the blend, hit it with some water. I hit it again this morning with some more water, and my yard will thrive the rest of the summer. It's just not hard.
No.
And if you go by Deerland Feed and say, hey, I need the 21-7-14 blend, I put it in my little green. It's a Scott's broadcast spreader.
You have a rotary?
It's that little, when you push the wheels, it's kind of cool.
I've got the drop spreader.
That's a great idea too. But I put it on like an 8. I put a lot of the fertilizer on it because when we have these spotty showers, some of it washes away. But the yard will.
What's the recommended? You put it on 8. What does it recommend?
I think it's a 4.
5.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size. It's almost the size of a BB from a BB gun, each pellet. But there's 3 distinct colors in there. You can look at it, you can tell.
You can see it hit the ground. Yep.
Different stuff. Yeah, very good. So the yard.
I'll be honest. I used it at Easter. Put it down. Right. Grass was really green.
Then Memorial Day.
Well, but I didn't. I went with a weed and feed because I had some weeds that were taken over.
But that should have probably really greened it up.
It didn't. It's not as green as it was under the Wade and Carter blend, 21-7-14 blend. And I did not get the weed and feed at Deerland. I went and got just a small bag from Lowe's.
Good.
Nope.
Now, did you put the 21-7-14 down this weekend?
That's going to happen today.
There you go. So you're still within that week. I
mean,
they're just giving you a heads up that it's the time of the year. Good morning, Lorena. It's the time of year where the heat and the spottiness of the water dilute your plant's efficiency. And so that's when you do it. Easter, Memorial Day, July 4th, and then again on Labor Day. And the Labor Day is just, it's kind of like every other month, sort of, if you squint, and then it gets you through the winter.
Yeah.
Good stuff. 76 to 92. It was 80
a little bit cooler than
morning.
Yesterday. Yeah, supposedly. I don't
Still
know.
hot.
Yeah. Rena Scherer, Marvin Mikish, Scott Tomko, Mark Kurtz, P. Strauss, good morning.
Are you buying this climate change thing? It's funny to me that the French the other day announced that Donald Trump is the reason they need air conditioning. And I don't have any doubt that the El Nino and La Nina, that the Earth's atmosphere is in constant flux. It changes all the time. And although it takes hundreds of years to manage and really chart what's happening with the climate, the idea that the Earth may be getting warmer, that may be fine. It may actually be going through that cycle. But I'm not buying that it's all because of, the California wildfires did more to hurt the environment than the cars in Texas.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah. Paris's mayor, Audrey Pulvar, blamed this country for the fact that 1,000 more people than normal during the heat wave last week in France.
Was it 1,000 more than normal?
Yeah.
Well, people, how about if you just get a window unit? Dear American journalists and social media influencers, for days, some of you have been criticizing and making fun of Paris because the city does not have AC in every room. OMG, this is so rich. As the second largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions in the world, behind only China, we're number 2. You bear a significant amount of responsibility for global warming and the consequences we in France are experiencing. Your cities, 90% air conditioned, are not unrelated to this. In Paris, in Paris, we take our responsibility.
Nice French accent.
Who cares about France? Get some AC. I don't get it. We're number 2 behind China, but we are a distant number 2. Why isn't she calling out China? Beholden, scared?
Because they're communists and everybody. Well, here's why. All of Europe's 5G technology is run and owned by Huawei and China.
Yeah.
They don't want the Chinese to disrupt their cellular communication network. And if you blame the Chinese, that's what the Chinese will do.
Scott Tomko adds, sounds like 2 old men talking about your yards.
Yep.
It's true, but at the same time, and I appreciate that, you still tune in. I saw Scott the other day, he had his shoulder worked on. At any rate, it brings to me that today, Breitbart, which is one of the channels I listen to, not only was Mike Slater not the on-air personality, who is really, really good, I think.
Concur.
Not only was he not on, they reran like
last
Monday's episode with Mary Walters, and she's okay. But I thought, man, it's a week old, and she was saying things like, as we head into this July 4th week.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Did you see where the Dodgers catcher, a young guy they brought up?
Laser Alfonso was dead. Yeah.
His dad was a pro player at 1.2, but his stepmom and his sister were found dead in the rubble of the earthquake. But it was his debut as a big leaguer, and he did go ahead and play for his family.
Death toll now well over 3,300, and they say there's still the number missing continues to rise. Like 50,000 people or more missing.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Greg Garcia says India and China are the top 2 polluters in the world. We are a distant third.
So you think there's a chance that the French president was incorrect?
Yeah, we can find out. Ryan Hopping, good morning. Brad Mitchell checking in. I mean, let's quick Google search. Which countries?
Well, I would say top greenhouse gas emitters and see what it says.
That's what I'm doing.
You're kind of doing it. You're going around the barn to find out which gate's open.
Yeah.
There you go. It won't quite. AI won't.
China and India are currently the highest emitters globally.
Yeah. Well, where else would they be besides globally?
But here we go. Yeah, China. According to Wikipedia, that was in 2023. That's not current.
That's right, because we've really cleaned up our accents then.
Absolutely. Ricky King. What do they want us to do? Go back to the horse and buggy days? Yeah. I mean, good morning, Marina. There's Zed Stewart.
Hi, Marina. How's Zed?
I think we should. I mean, if we could just find a hydrogen cell, power cars with hydrogen.
Nuclear.
But I think what's his name, Nikolai Tesla, tried to do all that stuff, right? And then they just killed him.
Why don't we bring home the uranium from Iran that we got? Of course, because we're the U.S. and of course we won that war in Iran. Why don't we just bring that home and power our vehicles with it?
Speaking of which, the Ayatollahs, well, then we'd have nuclear-powered vehicles.
Right? Meet George Jetson.
The Ayatollah Khamenei, not Khomeini, his funeral is today, and apparently there's thousands of people in the streets of Iran. I mean, it makes for good propaganda videos.
Or die.
Well, that's my point. I mean, how many of these people are forced to be publicly grieving for somebody who's held them
hostage
and kept them down for, one of many for 47 years, right? It makes no sense.
Yeah. Monty Howard says, no horses. Remember the methane. Yeah, you wonder about, I've been seeing more and more lately how Trump, apparently there were some people that I would categorize as idiots, white supremacist type folks parading in DC. Although I never confirmed, you can't be positive of what the group really was, but they were all dressed kind of militarily. Good morning, Judge Zeller. They were all dressed in kind of like a olive drab and then khaki pants, and they had like a
like the Zelensky.
Well, and they had like a white
on.
or cream colored, like what we would call like an ice type mask, a facial, like a gator up over their face. I don't know. People said, oh, they were white supremacists. I didn't see any swastikas or anything, but that doesn't mean I'm right, and I'm certainly not defending them. But people, they want to say that Trump is this fascist. I read a deal the other day on Twitter that was serious. I mean, the person was serious. Donald Trump setting himself up to be a forever dictator. He's not going to have a peaceful transfer of power at the end of his term. It's just absurdity. I mean, it's craziness, but it's out there. And I think that the left is trying to make you so fearful that Donald Trump might want to be a dictator that they want you to vote for them, who are telling you we're going to tax the rich, we're going to do this, it's just,
well, they use that term fair, right? Fair taxes, fair share.
Sure.
What's the other one?
Sounds like say? Donald Trump talking to NATO.
Yeah. Economic fairness. I mean, they try to use that word to make it seem like
it's only fair.
It's only fair because somehow somebody, it's not fair that Jeff Bezos has billions of dollars and that Elon Musk is a trillionaire on paper.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. But don't forget Elon Musk, when he tried to work with NASA and they said, I don't think this is going to work out. What did he do? Took his own money, went and bought a bunch of land down in around South Padre Island, Brownsville area.
Right.
What's it called? Space
X
or Starland, Texas, right?
Something like
that.
Starbase
or something. Yeah.
That
bought his own land and started doing his own rocket design with his money.
He's now a rocket
I'm sure he got some investors, but still he found others to invest in his vision, much like Henry Ford did. Much like many of those who invented all of the things that make our life much easier today, they found others to help invest in their dreams if they couldn't do it themselves.
Right.
But that's so bad. Oh, he needs to give up his fair share. He needs to be taxed fairly. It's garbage. It's jealousy being hidden and disguised as compassion for others is what it is.
It is funny how you just made me think about how over the weekend, because you were going to say he did this and built his vision. He didn't build that. Made me think of Barack Obama. President Obama, more and more video coming out over the last several days of Barack Obama back when he used to dye his hair and him saying, we've got to do something about this border. I mean, there's just too many people coming here. They've got no job. They've got no prospects.
Yeah. Well, that's not when he dyed his hair. That was right when he became president. Because everybody knows once you become president, you go gray and old.
That's right.
I don't think there's a job on earth that ages you like being president of the United States.
Well, you could go look at some pictures before and after of Coach Mac Brown from when he came to Texas to when he left, and it definitely aged him 20 years. Of course, he was there for
20. He was there, for 20 years.
He's still there.
Yeah. Monty Howard says fairness equals give me free stuff, other people's stacks, everything I want. I don't want to work to earn.
It is interesting how the left does seem to believe, and a lot of that's why the left is often. I've got a little more sympathy for the young leftist than I do the adult leftist who should know better. But ideology, the idea that we can just, well, why don't we just give them free college? We'll just give them a phone. We'll just guarantee them free living. It's the idea is the folly of youth. But at some point, you run out of everybody else's money. And it's no different than Texas is finally realizing, hey, man, like that Edwards Aquifer, it's really only got so much water in it.
Yeah.
Like we can't just keep building indiscriminately all over the limestone hills. There's really not enough water. And like for real, like, wow, who would have thought that it's true? And that's kind of where the left is with money, right? But it does get me that the left, I mean, the Democrats were the founders of the KKK. They're the people that brought you poll taxes. They're the people that brought you Jim Crow laws. They're the people that brought you the open border. They're the people that champion all the mental health spectrum issued people. They're the people that first brought you women's rights and who now infringe upon those very same rights by bringing you trans in sports and saying, oh, there's so few of them. What does it matter? You know, if the left could just be on the right side of any one agenda point, I'm all about personal benevolence, charity, cooperation. But the left seems to feel like, left to their own devices, the American people are selfish. So you've got
stupid and can't figure it out. That's
Joe Biden talking right there, that literally said that, you know, little poor kids are just as smart as white kids. Okay. Joe Biden's the guy that said, no, you can't do that because inner city blacks don't know how to get on the internet. Well, they sure do, because I see some of the idiotic stuff they post all the time.
Yeah. I mean, here's a meme that was circulating over the weekend on social media, and it basically has democratic socialism at the top, communism, and then fascism, and examples of each, right? Democratic socialism, Bernie, AOC, Mamdani. Communism, China, North Korea. Fascism, Trump, Hitler, Mussolini. Those are their examples. It's idiotic. And the left are quick to fact check you, but they don't fact check themselves. And they circulate this stuff as truth and gospel. And they teach their kids this. Well, Trump's a dictator. You got to hate him. He's a fascist.
Yeah.
And this is what they do to perpetuate this stuff. Social media is great unless it goes unchecked, and the left only want to check it when it's sharing information they don't agree with. Then they've got to fact check it, shut it down, call it out, whatever. But they can spew this garbage and share it, double down on it, and there's no consequences to it. Well, it's like lies and it's wrong.
Randy Gutenberger, who's a psychology guy, says that TikTok targets young women 18 to 34 to manipulate their minds politically. I can't disagree.
I mean, it's advertising at its simplest, right?
Right.
But it's just crazy the things that are being spewed with Donald Trump. Like the fascist thing, and this rears its head every 2 years because of the election cycles.
He's not going to go away at the end. He's going to stay.
He's 2028. He's going to stay.
He's 80 years old, man. I feel bad for him. He'll do his 2 more years. I still have said that I don't think he'll make it through his full term. And by the way, if you're on like Kalshi or one of those financial, where you can gamble on things, it's not a bad bet.
Go buy some contracts and see what you get.
It's like if I tell you, you to get on base, you can walk, you can get a hit, you can be hit by a pitch, you can reach on a pass third ball, you can be inserted as a pinch runner, yada, yada, yada. There's so many ways that for me to say Ash is going to get on base tonight is not really a sucker bet. But for me to tell you that Donald Trump could be assassinated on any given day, he could die of old age, he He could get hit by the beast. He could, he could get poisoned. So many things. He could have a heart attack, liver failure, kidney disease. So many things could happen to Donald Trump at the age of 80 that to say that he won't finish out his term is not some great intellectual stride. But I agree with Scott Tomko. Don't underestimate the Donald. I just think it's unfortunate and really indicative of the current state of our nation that half the country, a full half of this country, would at least be optimistic and would arguably celebrate if something happened to President Trump. And that's unfortunate because as much of a bumbling idiot as Joe Biden was, it honestly never crossed my mind that, boy, we'd be better off if that guy was dead. I mean, that's never crossed my mind.
Now, I wished he was out of office.
Yes.
And it's coming. And what I find really ironic, and we're going to get to World Cup in a minute,
I was going to say, Randy's really pushing that segue. He thinks that you look like Messi.
He hasn't seen me play soccer. That's
Not
until then.
You're
Hasn't
a
seen me
whole
kick a ball.
different
But
hue.
how quickly did the left run and hide from all of the accusations and revelations that Joe Biden mailed it in for at least the last half of his term, if not the entire 4 years? No acknowledgement of that. If we find out in 2029 that Donald Trump auto-penned everything and it wasn't actually Donald Trump, but a body double, how crazy do you think the left would go over that?
It is funny to me. Ryan Hopping just said Joe Biden is dead. I'm going to say this with about as much tongue-in-cheek as I do when I talk about the moon landing. If you were ever going to insert someone, now don't get me wrong, I can take a picture of Ash every day and he might look different. But Joe Biden looks different. Bear with me. He looks different than Joe Biden looked under Barack Obama. And serious comment is, if you were going to insert a body double for somebody, and the whole premise would be that Barack Obama was directing what was going on in the White House anyway, which I do believe. And what you do is you make Joe Biden kind of a bumbling idiot, and you then limit his public appearances. And when he's in public, you have him mumble and stumble and fall down and stuff, so people feel sorry for him. And then they don't require the presence of their president. Even the Democrats didn't say, where's Joe Biden? What does Joe have to say about this? They were like, bless his heart, Joe's been a humble servant for 50 years. Leave him alone. That is what happened. I mean, that is what they did.
Who weighed in on every big
Kamala
or Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom? Anybody but Joe weighed in on most of the big issues during his entire presidency.
Hi, Crystal Map. Do you think it's even... I'll tell you the thing that always got me. Here's the thing that always got me. There are some very distinct differences in photos of Joe Biden in his ears. And I'm not saying it doesn't. You've never heard me purport that there was a body double for Joe Biden. But Ryan Hopping, back me up on this. In some of the pictures of Joe Biden during his presidential term, he had a very distinct earlobe. It's Joe Biden. I mean, it's like, and it looks like the Joe Biden that we always saw. And then there's photos of Joe Biden where it looks like there is no earlobe. It's like his ear is just attached to his face. it may be, I'm just saying it may be that Joe Biden had some work done. I'm not telling you that I believe there's a body double. I'm telling you that if you were going to do it, the way to do it is to very greatly minimize his public exposure and minimize how much he says when he's in public. So I don't know. That guy doesn't look like that guy. To me, that guy looks different than that guy.
I think he had a facelift.
Okay.
Or at least some tightening of the face.
I think there's a chance of that. And that guy right there, that is Joe Biden. I mean, that
guy looks like
Kenny Rogers after the gambler. Yeah. That's what I think too. I think Joe had some work done. Why don't you type in there Joe Biden face work? You see
right
that
there.
earlobe?
Yeah.
And then you see how
because I think they pulled the face and they had to attach it somewhere. And so there's no
type in there and say Joe Biden facelift. See if they acknowledge it. I don't know. He probably did, and in fairness, look at that. Ryan Hopping goes, they had a tall Joe, and I figured you guys knew this stuff. Cody Balance says he had a little nip and tuck.
I would not put it past the U.S. government to have body doubles for our presidents at certain times.
You see what Linda Chris says? I think they sent the fake Biden out on days when the real Joe Biden couldn't get it together. And it may be that all that you saw was the fake Joe Biden. You just saw him. You didn't, you see him walking with that peppy Joe Biden step outside the West Wing.
So which Joe Biden fell off the bike?
That's what I'm wondering. And if you're the real Joe Biden and the fake Joe Biden fell down the stairs on Air Force One, aren't you irritated?
Well, he fell up the stairs. Right?
That's what he did.
Yeah, never fell down.
Ryan Hobbs says, type in tall Joe Biden.
But AI has gotten so good and all that. I mean, I'm not going down these rabbit holes today.
Oh, so today you're not buying the conspiracy?
I don't.
We ain't got nothing else to talk about. Type in tall Joe Biden.
We got a break to do.
There you go. The Wade and Carter program is brought to you daily by the great folks at the Atzenhofer dealerships. I went by on Friday and visited with the folks there, Eric and Michael and Ryan. They were all out front. They were cooking for the team at Atzenhofer. And it was really, really refreshing to see how much fun everybody was having. I walked in, they had a 2026 Z06 Corvette.
That white one?
No, it's black.
Oh.
No, that's a used one. They've got a brand new one on the showroom. That's a 25 model. So you could buy a pair, black and white. You could be like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
Wonder?
But I told them they're all friendly folks. I said, and this was not any type of an allusion to Dawn Nicole. I just said the Z06 Corvette appeals to the middle-aged man because it's built kind of like a 40-year-old woman. It's a little wider through the hips, but can still get it done. And that black Z06, that thing is as wide as this room. A lot of places in the country are taking a Corvette with a sticker price of $135,000, which would be the Z06, and they're marking that up to account for its limited availability. Not so at Atzenhofer. You can buy that car for below the sticker price right now. It's for sale.
Tommy's in the car sales
business. They are not
in
the car collection business. Atzenhofer inviting you in. Folks, White Wing Materials, whether you need all variations of sand and aggregate or you need top quality, clean topsoil,
You're building a house. You just don't want to backfill it with that garbage they dug out when they poured your foundation.
Right.
Give White Wing a call. Put down some decent dirt on to put your grass down and get a jump start on that yard.
In deference to Matt Boucher, we will call it soil.
Yes.
Get good soil, a foundation for your yard.
361-920-SAND is the number to call.
All right, 920-SAND. 920-SAND. Call them. Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love. Make your house a home. Get in today. Get some new furniture.
Because you always do better at Chesnick, and they have some great stuff.
There you go. Scott Tonko says, I'd rather climb into my truck than crawl into that vet.
Yeah, wow.
Scott Tonko, your back hurts because of that old Chevelle you used to drive.
Veracruz Restaurant. Is this the week they're closed? Aren't they usually closed 1 week in July?
I don't know.
The
only way to know is to drive by and check. I don't think they're closed this week. Get by Veracruz today for the best. We went in the other day, and Dawn and I split an order of they call them super deluxe. Just tell Mary, go, I want the Carter nachos. And it's really it's like a chalupa shell with beans and fajita meat. And then they put white cheese on it and melt it. But you can get it with guac, and I get serrano peppers. And I mean, you can have everything on it. And the nachos are a great split lunch. We go in there and order those. I ordered a little. Dawn goes, why did you order a side of queso? And I just picked it up and poured it all over the nachos. And then she goes, oh, great call. The queso is so good. The guacamole is so creamy. Veracruz Restaurant, the finest Tex-Mex on the planet. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends.
You don't have to wait for us. You can go anytime.
$500,000 a week donated to 7 local charities. Yeah. Palace Bingo keeps the funds in the community. Palace Bingo gives you a chance to win. They hope you win because that means people are playing. Get to Palace Bingo this week and enjoy the L&L Grill. The food is great. Yep. Comfort food. Fried fish sandwiches, chicken wings, pizza. You can get in and have a great cheeseburger. It's almost like it was a smash burger when smash burgers weren't cool. Get into Palace Bingo.
And have fun, win some money.
Today. Yeah.
And you won't be told to shut up.
No. Only if we're there.
Yeah, that's only happens when we're there. So just a little bit, I guess, a little bit more on the Iranian situation and the funeral of Ayatollah Khamenei, because the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei.
Sure, you just made that up.
No, that's pronunciation I might have made up, but that's pretty close.
Try it again. What's
Mojtaba Khamenei?
Mojtaba?
I think so.
Just like this, you hold him. Circle of life.
But are they ever gonna? I mean, is he gonna show?
Mufasa Khamenei.
Yeah,
the wheel of fortune. Where's Elton John when you need him? Hello, Norm Burgess in Frisco, Texas, where there's always a mosque near you.
I wonder if you can buy that on Kalshi. Will the new Khamenei appear at the funeral or not?
Yeah, of the old Khamenei.
Yeah, no, the new one. The old one's dead.
The old one's dead.
Yeah, he'll be there.
We're down to the third Khamenei.
This thing is going on until July 9th.
5th son of the Lama. Big hitter, the Lama. So the third holy, it's into this big ravine, 10,000-foot crevasse. I go down and he stiffs me.
Lord. Oh, Lord, help me.
You are helped.
Please.
I'm telling you, I'm filling time. It's a Monday.
There's lots to talk about today.
Is there? What did you find out about tall Joe Biden?
I don't know. Is
Ryan losing it?
No.
That was a dumb question. Ryan lost it a long time ago. Is Ryan on the edge? Is he on the cliff? Is he on the cliff of the tall Joe Biden?
No, he just sent me a link saying the Epstein files say that Biden was replaced in 2019.
Well, there you have it from the Epstein files.
That may be why they don't want the Epstein files.
When was he replaced?
After
COVID?
Yeah, no, right before 2019.
I have one for y'all.
For the election.
Have any of you heard of it? This would give this is when I miss Jennifer Rayburn because she would know all of what I'm fixing to say. Do you remember the guy on Grey's Anatomy that came in late? They called him Dr. McSteamy.
Yeah.
The good looking gray headed guy. He had his Danes, somebody Dane. Anyway, he's a gentleman that has since passed from ALS. He had Lou Gehrig's disease and he has passed away. This series came out in 2013. In 2013. And it's the premise is that there's this naval destroyer that's on assignment when a pandemic hits the world, a virus that mutates and billions of people have died, and it's being compared to the Black Plague and yada, yada, yada. And I'm telling you that throughout the first season of 10 shows that we've watched now, in 2013, there are endless references that make you think about what we went through with COVID, to the point that it's almost like, they talk about the Simpsons predicting the future.
Yeah.
It's literally, Mark Kurtz says, The Last Ship. It was great. It has been a good series. And Mark, what's that guy's name? Something Dane. He died. That guy died.
Well, I'm reading Pike Logan's, Brad Taylor's Pike Logan series, Spy. And I think there was a book he wrote back in 2014. And it basically talks about a pandemic type of, bioweapon. I mean, they've been doing tabletop exercises for this stuff for years and here's why I think they were doing them, because we have been funding or had been funding the gain of function research in China for so long, and they knew because it's in China,
right,
there was a possibility
that it would get out.
Eric
Dane, thank you, Mark.
If they're doing this gain of function research in the U.S., which they couldn't because we supposedly outlawed it, but there were three.
We subbed it out. We outlawed it, but then we subbed it out to you people. It would be exactly like, you want to do something in this country, but you can't do it because we no longer use DDT. But you sub it out to China and they use DDT, so there's no problem. Cody Bauman, nothing is ruined. The series ran 5 seasons, and the actor in real life died last year. The series is still there for you. The guy's very much alive on the ship.
Yeah, that's the beauty of TV.
Yes.
And archives, they're there forever.
True story.
No, we did. There should have been oversight and there wasn't. We failed. If Fauci was able to keep doing it, Stephanie, the government failed.
True story.
It's not all. I mean, Fauci did it.
But across multiple,
and that's why he got pardoned for crimes he hadn't even been charged with yet.
Right.
But multiple administrations, with all the checks and balances that are supposedly in place, so this doesn't happen, it happened. And don't forget, we went into business with this lab in Wuhan with France, us, and China. China kicked both of us out, us being us and France, yet we kept funding the research there.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. We had no access to a lab, but we're pouring millions of dollars into the research.
John Anderson says, are there still a lot of COVID cases being reported, and how much of the initial pandemic was fake? I think there are still some COVID repercussions, but here's what gets me about it. Nobody has ever even claimed, which would have been falsely claimed, that COVID has been cured, or that right? Nobody has said, well, we've got a cure for that now. No. Nobody has even been so bold as to state, we have now refined the vaccine to the point that you won't get COVID. See, they lied to you because it was just like getting the flu. And the reality is they said, well, if you have the vaccine, you may still get COVID, but it will only manifest itself as like a slight cold. You won't really get COVID.
They changed their narrative.
Yeah, how do you know if you were going to get it or if you got it? You don't. It's all, how much are you willing to believe of their garbage? I simply think I just willed it to have no effect on me. I had it twice.
I've kept this since 2021. from Pfizer on their Twitter account. The Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine has not been approved or licensed by the U.S. FDA, but has been authorized for emergency use to prevent COVID-19 in individuals 16 plus.
Prevent. They lied to you, and you've got no repercussion, even though they now claim, big word out of the internet, it's been claimed that there are microplastics and things, and that mRNA and other things that were put into your vaccine. I got 2 from Moderna because I wanted to travel. Looking back, I wish I never would have. There were undeniably perfectly healthy people who dropped dead of heart-related issues. Most notably, I remember there was a D1 college soccer player, perfect health. Everything about that person's diet and health was monitored regularly. Heart enlarged, died.
Well, remember in 2020, all these soccer players around the world were falling out in games.
Yeah.
They couldn't really explain it, and I don't know that they ever really did. But we've got the FIFA World Cup going on right now. And in the run-up to the World Cup, with all the qualifying, no reports of international soccer players falling out in games unexpectedly.
That's right.
Right? Because they've stopped taking the vaccine, for one. Probably that's the reason. Nobody's being forced to take the jab anymore.
But the left is the group that made you take them. If you want to travel, you got to have it. You got to be able to prove you've got it to get anywhere.
Stephanie Connie says we have no checks and balances, but we do. The media will do the digging when they want to do the digging.
That's true.
That's why the story came out last week of Donald Trump and his $550 million no-bid ballroom contract, because they're trying to find stuff out about Trump.
Are they right? Did he do that with no bid?
I think he called it a reconstruction or renovation and funneled it that way so he didn't have to bid it out.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's
Andrew Alvarez says all of my literal near-death health issues happened after I took the vaccines.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
And don't forget, we found out about the gain of function research going on after Fauci became persona non grata in the media, because some of them started not to believe everything that the government was telling you. Jack Posobiec, one of them. There's a few other. Tyler Durden, I think, is his name. He does some great stuff on COVID.
Historically notorious, conspiracy buffs. Man, I'm sure Glenn Beck had an opinion on it. But when you look at these things, what I'll go back to is that we consistently said, if you're old, fat, or sick, stay home, which, by the way, is 80% of America, right? If you're old, fat, or sick.
Not old and sick, or not old and fat, or not old.
Just
fat and sick, yeah.
Stay home. That was one thing. Don't get it. Yeah, I'm not telling you how to beat COVID. I'm telling you not to get it. If you're old, fat, or sick, stay home. And then that's why I knew that we were right, tragically, when we immediately called out Governor Cuomo at the time for herding all of those old folks into the same nursing home. He was just setting them up to die. He had to know at least what we knew.
Yeah.
He was setting them up to die. Let's get rid of these old folks. We can solve the Medicare problem. If there's no more old folks, Social Security and Medicare look pretty solvent. Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I was forced to get one to travel from Canada back to the U.S. That's the only reason I had to get the vaccine. I could leave the country. I couldn't get back into the country.
Yeah. Stephanie Conley says there is a cheap test to see if you have over a certain limit of MNRA. She put, I thought it was mRNA, but anyway, in your system. And you can get it out of your system if it's over a certain amount. They say you are a ticking time bomb for 15 years if it's in your body over a certain percentage.
Oh, I mean, anytime you start messing with the RNA in your body, or the DNA, you're probably not a good thing.
Yeah, Linda Chris says she had 3 shots and she wondered what's going to happen to her someday. Someday we're all going to die. But the thing is, there was a period of time in there where the corruption of the system made, you got hit by a car and they said, oh, he died of COVID, right?
Yeah.
He died of, okay, Stephanie, thank you. It is mRNA. Yeah, he died of COVID. A plane went down, 180 people were on it. One of them had COVID. They were all carrying, it was 180 COVID deaths. I believe the numbers were skewed. I am not certain that anywhere near as many people died as they claim. So you don't know. I believe that it was China studying how quickly Americans could be herded in a direction.
It was a biological weapon.
Yes, I believe that.
And
does that make us a conspiracy buff, or do you look at that and go, well, we just observing what's going on every day, a little common sense?
What's going on with that? And I don't believe, well, no, I do believe they wanted, I don't know that they really wanted to kill as many people as it ended up killing. I think they wanted to see how quickly the world would react to something like that and how the world would react.
Yeah, I agree with
because they killed a lot of their own people. Not that they care about that, because that's what they've done since the communists have taken over China, is kill hundreds of millions of their own.
And it was such a big deal. I want you to think about this. It was such a big deal that even Donald Trump has not come in and mocked the left about it. He's kind of left that alone.
Well, he has to. He was involved in the initial response to COVID, and the reason why our deficit went or our spending went up by $3 trillion, right? I mean, that was him. That was on him.
Let's take a break and come back to obviously what's the top story. The top story. That's, what do you call that? A tease?
That is a tease.
Y'all hang around.
Went Services, for all your electrical needs, give Went a call. Whether you need just some work done, you want an extra plug, or a plug went out. Something as simple as one of your breakers keeps blowing. Yeah, and you don't want to touch it. I don't trust myself around electricity, so I call Went.
Smart guy.
I do. So I'll try and do some plumbing stuff.
No job too small. They'll come out and help you. Of course, they have a $5,000 minimum. I'm kidding. I made that up.
No, you did. I don't want to be electrocuted.
They did a great job for you. I remember back in the day.
They've done a couple of great jobs for me.
Absolutely. USA Foundation Repair. If your house is leaning, hey Bob, your house is leaning. If your house is leaning, if your doors won't close,
or if they won't stay open.
If your ears hang low, you can tie them in a bun. Anyway, reach out to USA.
Was it ears?
I don't know. What was it?
I don't know, but I don't think it's safe to say on radio.
Was it them long boobies? They weren't big boobies. They were long boobies. USA Foundation
Male parts,
Repair.
I'm thinking.
Oh, wow. Your bits?
Yep.
If your bits hang low. Anyway, you can go to Mexico, win a World Cup game. Anyway, USA Foundation Repair. Let them come out and level your house. That's the big picture.
Yeah.
Get a
not flatten it.
No.
Level it out.
Make sure from the ground up, not from the top down.
No.
578 home. Charlie Garcia will come out. Paravita Wellness in the Vita Cafe. Paravita Wellness. There you go. Cody Bowen says it's a kid's show. It's a kid's song. It's ears.
It was a kid's song and we sang it.
Thank you, Cody. He's from Canada.
It wasn't ears.
Yeah. Right.
Hell's 40 below, and I don't give a heater in my truck and off to the rodeo.
Anyway, Paravita Wellness.
We also sang that one too, but
get rid of the
kids
gluten.
were wired differently.
Get rid of the preservatives. Get healthy with Paravita Wellness. And also here, the offices at 205. John Paul Hull, Mr. James Geets have done a tremendous job beautifying, restoring, and beautifying a fantastic old building. And it is
just being used for storage.
Lovely. Oh, yeah. What a waste of beautiful architectural space.
That's what they saw, and they turned it into beautiful studios. There's a space right next to us that's available, and I think there's one at the end of the hall.
And I have no doubt that somehow they brought in as a consultant our own guru of redevelopment, Torn Bales. I have no doubt. Don't you feel like this kind of has Torn's touch?
I'm sure he had something to do with it.
There's no way JP did this on his own, is there?
No.
Yeah, I imagine TB had to be involved.
No. Sherry Jacobs says she's glad she didn't take.
Oh, you're just bragging. You're just bragging. right?
First State Bank of Louise Astros update.
Astros win. Astros win. Astros win.
Take the series from the Rays,
who are hot.
2.5 games back of Seattle, who is hot and now leads the American League West by, I think, 2.5 games over the Astros, I think.
And 1.5 over Texas.
So, yeah.
Scott Topko, who will fade, as we know. Boy, I sure do enjoy watching. I will actually watch the Rangers when that Nathan Eovaldi is on the mound. He is quite a fine starting pitcher.
Jordan, 29 home runs, hit a bomb on Saturday night. I think he leads the majors in home runs. He also had 6 RBIs again.
I also think he's on the pace to win the Triple Crown as a batter this year.
He could very well. He's in that race.
He's our starter at DH for the American League in the All-Star game, which I assume is tomorrow night.
Next week, I think.
Okay. Oh, they have to have a whole week of meh. Yeah.
I could look that up real quick.
You could.
There's such a thing called the interwebs.
The top news has got to be, can we get back to where that top story was?
Yeah, it's next week.
Where's that top story? Astros play tonight against somebody.
Yeah. Astros play the Rangers in the final series before the All-Star.
Tonight they play the Washington Nationals, I think. Did I make that up?
I doubt that.
First State Bank of Louise inviting you in for free checking, free savings. The friendliest little bank anywhere. They have locations all over. Sugar Land, Shiner. They've been in business 75 years.
Yeah, they're in Washington. Take on the Nationals starting
I knew
this evening.
I was stretching. Astros playing really good baseball right now.
3-game set. Then they have Thursday off to travel to Arlington. Is it still in Arlington, the ballpark? I think it is, right?
Yes.
And then take on the Rangers for
It's right next to Jerry World.
3-game set. So
Lambert wins yesterday, moves his record to 7-5. He's like 5-2 over his last 7 starts, or 6-1 maybe over his last 7 starts. Really, really has fit right in and been a solid addition to the club. Now get us to our top story because it's just fascinating.
This one?
No.
Which one?
Paxton and StubHub. A lot of folks are complaining that their tickets bought electronically
they never got
fake.
Delivered.
They paid for them. The money's gone. They got there and didn't get anything for it. I'm talking about Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that top story.
The top story.
Oh, that top story.
What am I missing? It was here. We saw it earlier.
We did.
I felt good. The story looked good.
There it is.
Oh, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce tie the knot in New York City's Madison Square Garden in a ceremony reportedly attended by more than 1,000. Somebody must have snuck in.
Yep.
And officiated by comedian Adam Sandler. Now, if anything to me, 1,000 guests seemed like a prohibitive measure, right? Don't you think that if they would have opened the doors to Madison Square Garden, that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift getting married, it would have been packed. Lots and lots of people would have gone. They made it sound like it was a big deal. 1,000 people went to their wedding. That's no big deal. What I'm going to tell you is going to happen is you will soon be able to watch that. It'll probably be on Netflix or somewhere.
Yep, I bet you. Because you weren't allowed to take your phones in.
Yeah, no phones in the arena.
And the reason they did it in Madison Square Garden, if you know the building at all, the arena is up on like the 6th floor. There's no windows, so you can't take pictures in like you could in a lot of other places.
Right.
All the guests were driving in through a tunnel.
They had like a little tent.
And they have underground parking there, so they can drop you off. Very secretive, because I think you're right. I think the whole thing was probably filmed by a crew that'll end up being sold to Netflix, and Taylor and Travis will make a gazillion on it. Yeah.
What's interesting is,
but they need to pay their fair share.
Adam Sandler officiated. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess he must have some type of a pastoral license. I don't know. And also, I think they will video it and have it out there for you to see at some point. They cried and they laughed and they danced and they hugged and they kissed, is what Robin Gentry said.
When she looked Taylor's aunt.
I found it interesting, though, that
Jason Kelsey's daughters were the Flower Girls.
Taylor's worth several $1 billion. Travis Kelce only worth maybe a couple of $100 million. I have a feeling that there was a prenup. Don't you think that she probably
I'm sure
brought some paperwork to the rehearsal dinner?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what do you make of the other? What do you make of the other top story? That FIFA went and reversed its decision.
Well, okay, so the sports purist in me has always said, so I don't want to be a hypocrite. I always liked baseball in part because the umpires made mistakes. How do you react? We used to say, I don't need the umpire to be right all the time. I just need him to be consistent. If he's always calling that low outside pitch a strike, then if you're a batter, you better find a way to hit that ball into right field. But the other side of that isn't it the goal of replay to get it right? And the United States.
But in this case, replay got it wrong.
They kind of did this. Yeah. So there was a play and a guy got hurt because Ballo stepped on his foot.
Did he really get hurt?
I don't know. His ankle rolled. I saw the video. It was
but the soccer players, they always
true story.
Fake like they've been shot.
At the end of the day, there was no penalty called whatsoever, which could have resulted like in a yellow card. But instead, upon review of the no call, it's kind of like they said, well, we don't have enough evidence to convict this guy of any crime whatsoever. But upon further review, he's guilty of murder and sentenced to death. Still don't have a body, still don't have a weapon, but he's going to the gas chamber. The idea was that Ballo stepped on this guy, and I'm a soccer novice. I thought that a red card was most often generated based on intent. I walk up and just jack you in the jaw. That's a red card because not only
dangerous play, physical confrontation. Yes.
So do you agree, as someone who grew up watching the sport, that although the gentleman from the other team did roll his ankle, it was incidental contact, wasn't it?
Well, as I mentioned, Messi stomping on the guy's calf and giving him a two-handed shove in the back.
Make no mistake. That's Messi. That's like Michael Jordan elbowing somebody in the face.
That was a more egregious foul that did not get a red card and probably should have.
But in this case, they go from no call to a red card, which forced the U.S. to play with a man down, and that man is ineligible for the next contest. Well, when you only do the World Cup every 4 years, you need to get it right. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's what I think. You need to get it right.
And I know they did this with Ronaldo before the World Cup because he had a red card and was going to miss 2 games, I think, of the World Cup. And then they altered that sentence and said, no, you can Portugal, I think, right? For Ronaldo, Portugal can go and play a friendly before the World Cup because it's international and it counts.
And that way he can play.
That way then he doesn't miss any World Cup games. And Ballo now is on a 12-game double secret probation or 12-month double secret probation.
Yeah,
that
if he gets another one,
if he gets another red card, then he's really in trouble. The funny thing is, the U.S. will not play an international match in the next 12 months because the World Cup has ended, and there's no need for it. So it's really nothing. But I think what irks me as a sports fan and does absolutely nothing to try to remove the doubt that FIFA's corrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Is president. Donald Trump made a call to the FIFA president asking him to look into this. And I don't know which is worse historically over as far as being corrupt, the IOC or FIFA.
I agree.
They're probably right on par with each other.
They got the call correct. And in one hand, as a sports fan, you should glorify that. But they got the call correct. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's like, what's next? Who put that there? That was a great comment. Tammy Keenan says, Ballo made a fantastic statement in an interview. Then our fearless leader poisoned the well. King Charles is going to appeal the red card from last night. That's a solid, it would be as if. That's a very solid comment, no matter the source. I think that would be about the same thing as if King Charles said, hey, I don't understand.
For those of you on Magic, have a good day. We're going to keep going just a little bit as we finish up this final topic of the morning. But U.S. plays Belgium tonight. Very, very exciting match. Maybe the best match of the World Cup was last night's Mexico-England. England a man down for the final. Here's what really is starting to irk me about soccer. 11 minutes of stoppage time at the end of that game yesterday.
Yeah, it's too much.
If Mexico isn't playing in Mexico City in the round of 16 against England and down 3-2 late,
there's no way.
There's no way they're giving them 11 minutes, and then it ended up being 12 because of stoppages in the 11 minutes.
Yeah.
They played almost 12 extra minutes of a 90-minute game. When I remember when 5 minutes of stoppage time was a lot of stoppage time at the end of a game. Now they added on at the end of the first half.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%.
It was purely, and I talked to some folks who know soccer better than me.
That wasn't me.
No, it was not. Folks who make a living in the world of soccer.
What did they say?
The only reason 12 minutes of stoppage time was because FIFA wanted
Mexico.
Mexico to at least equalize it and get to PKs. Yeah, absolutely.
Monty Harris says, I've never liked official reviews. Come on, we're talking about games. Why not just start officiating from the booth?
No, that's where the automatic strikes and balls is going to be coming from. But I'm going to make a fearless prediction that after tonight, the host nations of the World Cup will not have a team going forward. I don't think the U.S. can beat Belgium.
I am going to believe in miracles. I think the United States wins tonight. I think that the U.S. fights on and lives to fight another day.
And I think Belgium will use the motivation of Ballo getting back into the game as extra motivation.
I just heard some Bill, and I know. I think. Scary.
3's given to the automatic stoppages of the hydration breaks. But you know what, Jonathan? I that's still 9 minutes of extra time.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Folks, we love you. It's a Monday. Go win Monday. You can't win the week. It's time to work until Labor Day. Be well out there, folks. We love you.
Bye, folks.